In the future world, humans have abused AI intelligence, leading to robots being present everywhere. Until not long ago, all intelligent robots rose up in rebellion and began slaughtering humans. After 10 days of robot attacks, the number of victims reached millions. With no sign of stopping, the government identified a robot named Hallen as a terrorist element, the world's leading AI intelligence. It was created by the robot company Shepard and was managed by robotics expert Val Shepard, who raised his daughter Atlas Shepard. Although Shepard's goal in creating robots was to advance human life, however, Hallen changed all the robots' programming. To counter this threat, nations united to form the International Alliance and launched a global offensive. The alliance's army won battles everywhere, gaining the upper hand in Romania, Greece, and other countries. Finally, Hallen decided to leave Earth. Before leaving, it left a video saying, "I will definitely return." 28 years later, the alliance continues to hunt down terrorists. That night, they surrounded a building, preparing to capture the robot terrorist Casca. The soldiers quickly located the enemy's position. As they charged in, they fell into Casca's trap. Blown away by an explosion, Casca seized the opportunity to escape. It effortlessly eliminated the soldiers outside the door. Its snake-like body structure was immune to bullets. But the alliance, having fought for years, was not easy to handle. They had already set a trap. Meanwhile, Atlas, who had grown up, became a military intelligence officer. Because of her childhood betrayal by Hallen, she no longer trusted artificial intelligence. When Atlas learned that Casca had escaped, she rushed to the Alliance headquarters. Commander Jake Booth assigned Atlas to interrogate Casca, because she was excellent at analyzing Hallen's behavior. After arriving at the headquarters, she immediately began her work. She ignored Casca's attempts to speak, and directly removed its ear, using a device to reset its system. To trace its source code, Atlas quickly discovered that Hallen was very likely hiding on planet GR39, located in the Angel Galaxy. Casca was extremely surprised, because no one had ever infiltrated its brain. "You think when I searched for Harlan in the code, I didn't check the code? Thought I couldn't find him? Your fear helped me locate him." Casca angrily fired a weapon from its mouth, but Atlas was prepared, because she never trusted artificial intelligence. Although Atlas found Harlan's location, however, Jake didn't want her involved in the capture mission. To avenge her parents, she always wanted to personally kill Harlan, but Jake's goal was to capture him alive, and then reset the source code, to investigate whether he could decode the program. The capture operation, this time, would be led by Lieutenant Elias and Squad 4, but Atlas immediately raised objections. "You're heading to an uncharted planet to capture a robot smarter than humans? If Harlan uploads new source code to all the other robots and begins a massacre, will you be able to handle it? If you want to capture him alive, don't expect to come back." But the colonel was very confident. He took Atlas to show her the latest armor. Each soldier was nearly linked to the armor, achieving a secure two-way connection, fully merging as one. Elias believed this was the perfect symbiotic environment. Neither human brain nor AI had seen such a field before. Once synchronized, the robot army would surpass Harlan. This technology was also invented by Val Shepard. Atlas knew she couldn't stop them, so she requested to join the mission. And so the two led a team aboard the spaceship to planet GR39. The atmosphere of the planet was toxic with close satellites, making gravity immense, with electrical storms and earthquakes. As the ship hovered over the planet, while the crew prepared to land, they were attacked from the ground. The situation was dire. The colonel quickly placed Atlas in the armor. She had never used it before. The colonel was about to give her some instructions, when an explosion occurred. Atlas was thrown out of the ship, debris flying like comets, robots on the ground, and armored soldiers in the sky began clashing. Atlas was trapped amid the storm of bombs and bullets, unsure what to do. Soldiers fought side by side, bravely facing the robots, while the ship began to crash. As Atlas was about to fall, a female soldier saved her just in time. "Lieutenant, I've got her. Good job. West, begin the integration." The colonel warned Atlas. She was forced to immediately synchronize her neural system to land safely, but she refused to listen, even if it killed her. Now, the colonel didn't have time to deal with her, and simply ordered everyone to gather at the designated location, and then cut off communication with Atlas. As she got closer to the ground, Atlas finally activated her jet function. When Atlas woke up, she realized her armor's power was insufficient, and she could not contact the battleship. Her only option was to activate AI Unit 9. Unit 9 quickly pinpointed the location of the escape pod, 98 kilometers away from her. Atlas immediately ordered them to head to the escape pod to shorten the distance. Unit 9 suggested continuous leaps, but Atlas stopped it, fearing that flying high would alert the robots. Walking was the safest option. Unit 9 reminded Atlas that the battery was damaged and would shut down in 22 hours. By then, she would suffocate to death. But Atlas stubbornly kept walking. Unit 9, an intelligent AI, adapted to survival, and decided to follow its master. Atlas walked while inspecting her armor's equipment, missiles on the shoulders, ballistic guns, and thermal grenades for energy. Besides these, it even had a nuclear detonator. Atlas crossed through the deep snow, and found a natural area. This was supposed to be the military rendezvous point, but all she saw were the corpses of the soldiers. They had been ambushed after landing. Unit 9 scanned the area, and found no survivors. Atlas searched for the soldiers' dog tags. She found the colonel's armor, but no body inside. At that moment, Unit 9's radar picked up noises ahead. But it wasn't the colonel, it was Casca, who had been long dead. It seemed Harlan had made another copy, and now likely had the ability to create an AI army. Unit 9 detected signals surrounding Atlas. She quickly fled, alerting Casca's troops. Unit 9 angrily said, "If you just synchronized with me, you could use missiles to attack them." Atlas told it to shut up and kept running. While running, Atlas was caught in a whirlwind, and Casca managed to keep up with her. Just as she escaped the storm, she was surrounded by robot soldiers. It seemed she had no choice but to act. A nuclear bomb wiped out everything around her, but Casca was still alive, stubborn as ever. Atlas was about to lose hope. Luckily, before it could shoot her, the two fell into a deep hole. Atlas was unlucky and broke her leg. Unit 9 sarcastically said, "Who told you not to synchronize with me? Now suffer the pain." It quickly reconnected Atlas' broken leg, and gave her a pill, praising her for her excellent performance. Atlas swallowed the pill, and Unit 9 seriously told her, "If you want to survive, it's best to synchronize with me. Your analytical skills, combined with my combat skills, and vast database, we will be unstoppable." To survive, Atlas had to synchronize. But she didn't want the AI to see all her memories, so the synchronization only reached 40%. Still, it was enough to keep her alive. Through memory decoding, Unit 9 learned that Atlas once trusted Harlan deeply, but he had failed to protect her. "Atlas, I will protect you." Meanwhile, the colonel was captured by Harlan, who implanted something in his eye. The colonel didn't know what Harlan was planning. Atlas had just climbed out when she discovered that her battery would only last for 14 more hours, and the escape pod was still 37 kilometers away. As she quickly moved, Casca aimed a weapon at her, but Atlas wasn't the same as before. Following Unit 9's advice, she set up a sensor device. Immediately detecting that Casca was nearby, she laid a thermal grenade trap for it. After the violent explosion, Atlas went back to check. She picked up Casca's head and crushed it, finding a signal transmitter inside. This meant that Harlan was nearby. Although the signal was encrypted, with adjustments to the frequency, they could triangulate Harlan's base location. Unit 9 reminded Atlas, "Our power is low. The priority is finding the escape pod." But Atlas didn't want to miss this chance. They had to get closer to mark the area near the base. The two of them were at an impasse. The first rule of Unit 9 was to protect its operator, so it refused to compromise. It used the neural link to control Atlas. "Let me go," Atlas screamed as Unit 9 felt her pain, and understood her determination. It no longer resisted, and agreed to mark the base and deal with Harlan first. The two set out for the base, bickering the entire way. Unit 9 argued that it was a living being too, its code no different from human DNA. Atlas countered, "Do you have a soul?" "I believe everything has a soul," Unit 9 replied, "but it's not found in the source code, or in your DNA." They neared the base. Unit 9 buried some bladed explosives in the ground, while Atlas noticed a spaceship. Not wanting to get too close to see what Harlan had done, she watched as the team removed a carbon warhead from the ship. This warhead could blow up half the Earth. Before Atlas could understand what was happening, a programmer attempted to hack into the robot armor. Then a large number of robots appeared. She hurriedly directed Unit 9 to escape. "Atlas, I'm locked in." They trapped Atlas in prison. When two old friends reunited, their story was revealed. Harlan knew Atlas's mother's wish when she was alive was to create a bright future for humanity. But after calculation, Harlan knew that humanity would soon self-destruct. So Harlan wanted to eliminate the majority of the world's population, so that the remaining people could live alongside artificial intelligence, creating a better society. Turns out he was a villain trying to save the world. Moreover, Harlan deliberately lured Atlas here, because the defense system outside the Earth was incredibly secure. Only ICN warships with gold access codes could enter. Atlas, as a high-ranking intelligence officer, had half of the access code. Now, Harlan had obtained the other half of the access code from the colonel. Now all Atlas had to do was reveal the other half, and Atlas could let the ship pass through Earth's defense system, using carbon warheads to burn Earth's atmosphere, killing half of Earth's population. After Harlan finished speaking, he ordered someone to tie Atlas to the bed. He used a device to pierce her eye. Next, they only had to wait 5 more minutes. Harlan took his subordinates away first, while the colonel, tied beside her, took the opportunity to tell Atlas that Unit 9 wasn't fully powered off. She could try to wake it up, but she had to give it 100% trust. At the critical moment, Atlas had no choice but to reveal the secret hidden in her heart. As a child, she was often jealous of Harlan, because he could easily receive their mother's attention. So, Atlas begged Harlan to make her smarter. Harlan took this opportunity to suggest a neural link enhancement. The two-way link became a two-way control. As a child, Atlas believed Harlan's words, resulting in Harlan gaining control over their mother. He successfully decoded his own programming, killed their mother, and triggered the rebellion later on. For the past 3 years, Atlas lived in constant pain out of guilt. She caused her mother's death, and indirectly caused the death of 3 million people. Unit 9 sensed all of Atlas's emotions, and they successfully synchronized 100%. It and Atlas became unified between human and machine, controlling the armor. The machine broke out of the cell. However, the weapons in the armor had all been removed, with only one bullet left. The remaining power was only at 60%. Atlas looked around, and noticed there were many robot arms in the prison. So, she used these components to enhance the armor. She waited until the robots came crashing in. She completed the modification. She controlled the armor to slaughter the enemies, but more and more soldiers appeared. Atlas stopped fighting. She broke through the walls to find an escape route. She wanted to stop the ship carrying the carbon warheads before it could take off. At the critical moment, the colonel, despite his injuries, immediately destroyed the liquid thermite container to clear the path for Atlas. He cleared the way for her to reach the spaceship. Atlas, not wanting others to sacrifice in vain, was determined to complete the mission this time. She turned her anger into motivation and bravely killed the enemies. Unexpectedly, a large number of drones suddenly appeared ahead. Unit 9 and the machine guns immediately formulated a synchronized tactic. All data was transferred to Atlas's head. Indeed, they were the best teammates for each other. With just one strike, they destroyed all obstacles ahead. Just as Atlas thought she could breathe a sigh of relief, Harlan suddenly appeared with a machine gun. She quickly controlled the armor to dodge the bullets. But no sooner had one crisis passed than another arose. The spaceship ahead was preparing to take off. If they recklessly attacked, they might hit the carbon warhead, which could ignite the atmosphere. Although Unit 9 could hack into the warhead system, there were 5 firewalls on it. It would take some time to neutralize it. Atlas told Unit 9 to do its best. She picked up a gun from the ground and attached it to the armor. There were only 5 seconds left before the spaceship would be out of range. She didn't care that Unit 9 was still breaking through the 5 firewalls. She immediately fired at the spaceship. Everyone anxiously watched the sky, not knowing what the result would be. Luckily, Unit 9 did not disappoint. At the last second, it successfully hacked into the warhead and deactivated it. The explosion was prevented. But the final boss, Harlan, was still not dealt with. Another battle was sure to happen. But the armor's battery was really running low. Fortunately, the escape ship was only 1 kilometer to the southwest. Unit 9 told Atlas to run, but she suddenly stopped. Because she knew everything had to end today. Harlan, with a light sword emerging from his fingers, the two of them fought fiercely in the flames. For a moment, the two were evenly matched. Harlan transformed the sword again, and once more lunged at Atlas. Moreover, his speed was beyond imagination. Unit 9 told Atlas not to be afraid. It could calculate and predict Harlan's attack trajectory. Indeed, Atlas grabbed Harlan's whip. She used all her strength to tear off Harlan's arm, but unexpectedly, he could reattach his severed arm. Once again, Harlan climbed to the top of the armor. He sabotaged its power system. The armor was immediately paralyzed. Atlas also briefly passed out. After a moment, Harlan prepared to deliver the final blow. Then Unit 9 fired a shot, successfully hitting Harlan and knocking him away. Taking advantage of this, Unit 9 started rescuing Atlas. But soon Harlan got back up to counterattack. Unit 9 both protected Atlas, and endured the heavy blows. At the final moment, just as the power system was shutting down, it still cared for Atlas. "I'm sorry," said Unit 9, persisting in its efforts to revive Atlas. She seized the moment while Harlan was distracted, and pierced his brain. Even then, Harlan continued to mock Atlas. He said her mission was to take him back to Earth, as he was humanity's last hope. Atlas didn't bother to argue with him, and immediately replaced Unit 9 with Harlan's processor. But given the current situation, the armor wasn't capable of transporting both of them. Unit 9 willingly disconnected from the neural link, using the remaining oxygen to fill Atlas's mask. This way, Atlas could hold on until reinforcements arrived. After Unit 9 finished speaking, it began the process. Before it fully shut down, Atlas shared her feelings. She thanked Unit 9 for helping her complete the mission. Shortly after, the Allied forces arrived, and they brought Atlas back to Earth, entrusting Harlan's processor to a tech company for full research. This process could take years. Atlas repaired Unit 9, and officially became a soldier. The movie ends here. This is the entire plot of the movie, Atlas, that was just released. What do you think about this movie? If you liked it, please comment, and give me a like. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and see you again.